It's the coldest night of the year. You're in bed, warm, buried under the blankets, the heater humming somewhere in the house doing its job. This is the safest, coziest, most ordinary thing a person can do. Sleep in a warm home on a cold night. You've done it thousands of times. And almost every single time, you wake up in the morning perfectly fine. But if something is wrong, a cracked furnace, a blocked chimney, a generator running in the garage after a storm, then while you sleep, an invisible gas can be quietly filling that warm room. You can't see it. You can't smell it. And here's the part that has killed entire families in a single night. You will not wake up gasping. You won't bolt upright fighting for air. You'll just sleep a little deeper, and then you won't wake up at all. This is carbon monoxide, and its cruelest trick isn't that it's invisible. It's that it quietly switches off the one alarm inside you that's supposed to save your life. This is the story of why they call it the silent killer, and why silent barely covers it. It's the story of how this gas hijacks your own blood and turns the system keeping you alive against you. And it's the story of the single most disturbing fact about it, the one that answers the question in the title. Because the reason you don't wake up isn't that the gas is fast. It's that carbon monoxide slips through a blind spot in your own body, one you've had your entire life and never noticed. But to see that blind spot, you first have to understand something you never think about, how the oxygen you breathe actually gets from the air into every cell in your body. Every breath, oxygen floods into your lungs, and it doesn't just drift around in there. It gets picked up and carried. Inside your red blood cells is a protein called hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is basically a fleet of microscopic taxis. Each one grabs oxygen in your lungs, drives it through your bloodstream, and drops it off at every cell in your body, your muscles, your organs, your brain. That endless delivery, billions of taxis making trillions of trips, is what keeps you alive from one second to the next. Stop it, and you have only minutes. And for your whole life, that fleet runs flawlessly, and you never think about it once. Which is exactly why carbon monoxide is so deadly, because it has figured out how to hijack the entire fleet at once. Here's the first thing that makes this gas a killer. When carbon monoxide reaches your lungs, hemoglobin doesn't ignore it. It grabs it, eagerly. It turns out those little taxis don't just accept carbon monoxide, they far prefer it. Hemoglobin binds to carbon monoxide somewhere between 200 and 250 times more tightly than it binds to oxygen, 200 times. So picture it. The taxis pull up, and instead of loading a passenger of oxygen, they grab carbon monoxide and clamp down. And they will not let go. Every taxi holding carbon monoxide is now permanently out of service, cruising your body carrying poison, unable to pick up the oxygen your cells are screaming for. And then it gets crueler. The few taxis that did manage to grab oxygen, the carbon monoxide changes them too. It makes them lock their doors, so they won't release that oxygen to your tissues either. So your blood fills right up. It stays bright red. By every appearance it looks healthy, and full, and fine. And it is delivering almost nothing. Your cells begin to suffocate while your blood is completely full of the wrong passenger. And now the question that makes this truly horrifying. Your cells are starving. Surely your body notices. Surely even asleep, some primal alarm jolts you awake gasping, the way it would if someone pressed a pillow over your face, right? No. And here is the fact almost no one knows about their own body. That desperate burning urge to breathe, the panic when you hold your breath too long underwater, is not triggered by a lack of oxygen. It's triggered by a buildup of carbon dioxide. Your body never actually evolved a way to sense oxygen running low. What it watches, obsessively, every second of your life, is the waste gas, CO2, rising in your blood. When that climbs, an alarm fires. Breathe. Now. The system is so precise that scientists have found specific neurons whose whole job is to jolt you awake from sleep the instant carbon dioxide gets too high. Now look at the trap. When carbon monoxide is poisoning you, you are still breathing, in, out, calm, all night long. Which means you're still exhaling carbon dioxide perfectly normally, so your CO2 level stays perfectly normal. The alarm has nothing to detect. It sits there, silent. Your body's entire emergency warning system is fixated on the carbon dioxide, which looks fine, while the carbon monoxide quietly strangles every cell you own. You don't wake up gasping because, as far as your brain can tell, nothing is wrong. You just get drowsy, then more drowsy, and you slide from sleep into unconsciousness, into death, without your body ever once sounding the alarm. That is why carbon monoxide won't let you wake up. It's not that it's too fast for you, it's that it kills you through the one blind spot your body has always had, the fact that you cannot feel oxygen leaving, only carbon dioxide arriving. And this is not rare, and it is not old news. In the United States alone, carbon monoxide accidentally kills somewhere around 400 to 500 people every year and sends tens of thousands more to the emergency room. And the sources are the most ordinary objects imaginable: a furnace with a hairline crack, a water heater, a gas stove, a blocked chimney, a car left running in an attached garage. The single deadliest source is portable generators, which is why deaths spike after every hurricane and winter storm. The power goes out, people run a generator in the garage or right outside a window to keep warm, and they never wake up. And it wears one final disguise. The early symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning, headache, dizziness, nausea, a heavy fatigue, are almost identical to the flu. So people feel unwell, assume they're coming down with something, and do the single worst thing possible: they lie down to rest. In the same poisoned room. The CDC says it plainly, and it is a chilling sentence. People who are asleep can die from carbon monoxide before they ever feel a single symptom. Now, here is where all of this turns from a nightmare into something you can simply solve. Because everything you just heard comes down to one problem. Your body has a blind spot. It cannot sense carbon monoxide. It never had to. For almost all of human history, this gas didn't collect in our sleeping spaces. Furnaces and generators and idling engines are brand new. Your alarm was built to watch carbon dioxide, and you cannot rewire it. You can't even train your nose, because there is genuinely nothing to smell. But you can put a second alarm in the room, one built to watch the exact thing your body can't. That is all a carbon monoxide detector is. A $20 device that does the one job your biology never learned: sense carbon monoxide directly, and scream long before it reaches the level that kills. That's the entire fix. Put one near where you sleep. Put one on each floor. Check the battery when you change your clocks, and swap the unit out every 5 years or so. And let me kill one myth that gives people false confidence. You might assume you'd smell a gas leak, but that smell is added to natural gas on purpose, so you can detect leaks. Carbon monoxide is a product of burning, and it has no smell at all. Your nose will never save you here. Only the machine will. So the next time you climb into a warm bed on a freezing night, the heater running somewhere in the house, you don't need to lie there afraid. For almost everyone, on almost every night, that warm house is exactly as safe as it feels. Just carry the one strange truth at the center of all this. The alarm your body built to wake you in an emergency is watching the wrong thing. It always has been, and there's no fixing that. So put a second alarm in the room, one that watches the thing you can't. It costs about $20, and it does the single most important thing a machine can do for you. It makes sure that on the one night something goes wrong, you actually wake up.